everybody. Another episode of the Moneyline Madness podcast. It's your boy Matt here, once again with my guy Andy B. Andy, I wish I could say it's a great day to hop on. I mean, it is a great day to hop on, but it is not a great day with the things that we are going to be discussing today.
Well,
lots of chaos going on in the city of New York when it comes to our favorite baseball teams. Andy, how's your day going aside from that? How we feeling?
I'm pretty good. I got a lot of stuff done in the morning. I'm pretty happy. But no, yeah, you're right. Baseball is in a little bit of a flux here. I know we've said it multiple times. If you would have told me April 1st, whenever the opening day was, I think it was March 31st, that this would be the state New York baseball was in, I would not have believed you. Almost last, but the Mets are in fourth, and the only reason they're in fourth in the NL East is because the Nationals suck.
Yep.
And you guys are dead last.
Dead last.
It's
Somehow
insane.
still above 500, which is boggling my mind. Truthfully, I don't understand how that's even a thing at the moment. And right here behind me is the man that's to blame. If there was anybody that I'm pinning this on, it's this guy right here. And you can see it on the top of his hat somewhat. He should be flipping patties. I cannot stand and cannot live with Aaron Boone coaching my favorite baseball team anymore.
Yeah.
This is an absolute disgrace. If George was still here, God rest his soul. If George Steinbrenner was still here, Aaron Boone would have been fired in May. In May. Here we are, middle to late June, or July, I'm sorry. And this guy is still coaching the New York Yankees, the team with the most money in professional sports, the most championships in professional sports, the team that's supposed to be tier one when it comes to all professional athletics. And you are employing this disgrace of a human being as your coach. I mean, Andy, I don't know if you saw what he said to John Boy on that
I
podcast.
did.
Oh my goodness.
Brought up yesterday. I tweeted about it. I thought it reeked of insecurity. I think, look, you can get into the ins and outs of like the decision he made to not walk Shohei Ohtani. Like, look, you got to know your guys. You got to know your pitchers. If you're afraid of Mickey Moniak more than you're afraid of Shohei Ohtani, you shouldn't have a job at this point. Like, Ohtani bat flip, everybody was saying like that didn't mean anything. That meant something. Ohtani knew he was going to hit a home run there.
He did.
He dropped the bat
did.
like, well, of course I did that. Like,
you're stupid. Like,
yeah,
I just proved the point that you are an idiot.
Yeah, you offended him by pitching to him. Like, I don't mean this in a rude way because, like, look, Boone seems like a good guy. Don't get me wrong. But, like, when you go on a podcast, you go on every week, and you look at somebody in the eyes after they tell you, they're like, I would have walked them there. They gave you their opinion on their show, and you say, well, when you manage the team, you can make that decision. You are reeking of insecurity, and that's one thing. Look, my manager hasn't been much better this year. He doesn't do that. He doesn't reek of it. He listens to opinions. The good managers, they take it on the chin, and Aaron Boone, since he got here, has really struggled to do that. And look, do I think firing him is going to make them any better? No. I think the team is flawed. It was a flawed concept from the beginning. Just the same with my team. They were both flawed teams from the beginning. But this year, Boone has reeked of insecurity more than anybody I've seen in a New York position like this.
I mean, you look at him, and he gives you a comment like that, right? And then he turns around yesterday after the game, and he says, well, I thought we did some good things too. Yeah, Aaron? Where were the good things? These good things are not resulting in winning baseball games. It's constantly, you're coming out, since, getting the new hitting coach, we've seen, some improvements, and we feel like we're on the right track.
Yeah.
Aaron, when is it time, right? Like, when is it time to start winning baseball games? You're coming out, you're dropping series to the Rockies, you're dropping series to the Cubs, you're dropping series to the Angels. It's disgusting. I mean, all New York teams suck. It's maybe aside
Think
from
about
the Knicks,
New York sports right now, though. Like,
it's
not anymore. Like, the Jets expect to be good. I don't think they will. The Giants are probably going to be an average team this year right now. The Knicks look really good. I think they'll be at the top of the East. I think the Nets are solid. Like, a lot of the teams can say good things. Like, even their college teams are pretty solid. Like, Syracuse football is going to be exciting this year. St. John's basketball is going to be exciting. Like, the pro baseball teams were supposed to be the best. They're the worst right now. They're the absolute worst of New York sports right now. And they're easily the highest paid athletes in the city. right?
100%.
And I won't say that all of them are not performing. The highest paid players in the city are performing. Like Lindor's been really solid. Garrett Cole's having another Cy Young year, but it's the lack of depth between these two teams. Like it's the Yankees, I said, they're a flawed concept from the beginning. Josh Donaldson being in the starting lineup from the beginning of the year was flawed, but as he kept getting worse, he kept playing, and now I believe he's on the injured list. Yes, so I think that saves them a little bit from having to see him play. But like, yeah, it is sad right now in New York sports. And for the Yankees, I don't think they have much to trade. For the Mets, I think they do have a couple of appealing pieces, which is solid. But all right. Kyle is big against Jeff McNeil. He is not a Jeff McNeil guy. That's another thing.
Act.
Jeff McNeil
first
injured
one in, last
now.
one out type of guy. That
Jeff
hurts.
McNeil being injured, just like Josh Donaldson. I think that might help the Mets because he's been so bad recently. Like
his utility is going to be missed. That's what
the fact that he can play left, second, it's great, but he hasn't hit. And like I've said, with these teams, it's just they were flawed concepts. The Mets bullpen was a flawed concept. The Yankees bullpen's really solid. Their starting rotation was always a flawed concept. Like there's so many issues with these teams that they go deeper than the
trade deadline
manager.
can't save you. It literally cannot save you at this point.
It is kind of sad that the New York trade deadline is not going to be like the Mets might sell off, might not even sell their pieces because they have this thought that they could make a run. Look, we're 8 back. We're not making a run. Even if we make the playoffs, we're going to get killed by Atlanta anyway. Like, it's so odd. I never would have imagined this, and man, I don't know.
The Jeff hate is crazy, but
he hates him.
You know what? If we want to start talking about the kind of picking it apart, right? One thing that's really irritated me about even both the Mets and the Yankees. The Mets a little bit less than my Yankees, but the thing that's really irritated me is the complacency. You look at the Yankees and they acquired Giancarlo Stanton, and then you look at the acquisitions after Stanton, and they got completely happy and stagnant with the offense that they have. You know, you go out, and the trade that will haunt us forever is Gio Urshela and Gary Sanchez for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and Josh Donaldson. I mean, what was the thought process there? Holy garbage. Oh, my goodness. Because now you have a guy at third base who he's barely giving you anything on the defensive end, and then obviously going 0 for 128 at one point this season, by the way, still starting in the starting lineup. Haven't hit a ball in 128 at-bats. Still was in the starting lineup.
Yeah,
and then Isaiah Kiner-Falefa benched for a rookie. Anthony Volpe, maybe the only small bright spot.
And even
he even hasn't been fantastic.
Yeah,
he's been okay. That's
he's been solid, but like I hate to, and I'm not saying this as a New York homer. Are you as excited about Anthony Volpe as the Mets are about Alvarez? No. Like you're not. There if the Angels came to you tomorrow and they were like, you can have Shohei, we're going to take your top 3 prospects, we want Volpe too, why are you saying no? Like, I'm sorry, I know a lot of Yankee fans want to act like their top prospects are these guys. Like, Anthony Volpe has been here from day one. He's been here from day one. He was on opening day. He's done with the rookie crap. He's got over 400 at-bats almost this season. That is a guy who is now an MLB player, or he's not. You don't get 2 years in the MLB. You don't get 3 years. You get your rookie year, and if you show that you can't go through the ebbs and flows, like he's a great defender, but he hasn't proven anything as a hitter. So
yeah,
that's
we kind of always knew that though. Like it was always, can Anthony Volpe come in and hit maybe 250?
Yes, but this is a different era of baseball because I believe shortstops are. I mean, you go look at the teams that are winning right now. Shortstop's usually one of their top positions. It's never their best because obviously outfielders want to have power.
And it's also one of their best positions offensively, which is kind of crazy to think about in today's game. And another point I want to bring up about the Yankees' coping mechanisms is last night, right? After the post game, you have John Flaherty. He's talking and he says, you know, the pitching in the MLB, one thing about it, it's so good that on any given night, a team can come in and shut you down. And I'm looking last night, Andy, I don't know if you saw 15 different guys hitting 2 home runs last night.
How about this?
This is not a pitcher's league anymore.
It's not.
And you're getting dominated by guys like Jameson Tyone that are coming in. That's how angry I am about these Yankees that are coming in and just shutting you down through 7-8 innings of work. It is literally disgraceful. And I know George, he can't be happy looking down on all of us.
How about this? 11 teams scored 10 runs last night. 11 teams. That had not happened since they started the tracking in 1900. So good chance it never happened in the 1800s either. I don't know. I wasn't there, obviously.
Never know.
That hasn't happened in that long, and you're going to talk about pitching? Pitching was awful yesterday. Lucas Giolito went into Citi Field in a blink of an eye. He was down 4-0. Mitch Keller, who's been the ace of the Pirates, was down 5-0 before he got an out yesterday. No, pitching's been bad this year. Go look at the Cy Young winners. You couldn't name the one. Zach Gallen. Did anybody know who Zach Gallen was coming in here? No, very few. Pitching's at an all-time bad right now, while hitting's at an all-time high. And you're going to talk about how, you shouldn't be getting shut out in Major League Baseball anymore. It should not happen. The Mets game yesterday was 11-10 final. And then the Diamondbacks and Braves 16-13. That's two teams in one game that scored 13. That's baseball now. So don't give me the getting shut out is okay. Getting shut out is embarrassing in baseball right now.
Absolutely.
Who pitched for the Angels yesterday? I'm sorry, I didn't see.
Oh my God!
Was it Sandoval? Was it?
No,
Patrick?
it was short.
I'll get it up. I'll get it listed up here. But I get they don't have anybody who should be shutting you out every game. Shohei, obviously, but Shohei didn't pitch. It's so questionable how you can even make that comment about pitching. Pitching's at an all-time
7 1/3, bro. 2 hits.
But you should be able to hit him, and I get it. The Yankees don't have Judge right now, and maybe he's on the way back. But I'm sorry, the Yankees are not a playoff team right now.
You're rolling out a lineup with Glaber. You're rolling out a lineup with Rizzo, who is now 0 for 48 in his last almost 50 at-bats as well. He looks lost without Aaron Judge there to kind of, hold this weenie Wally Peas. It's disgusting.
They've been just go look at the guy that was batting. We were talking about yesterday, batting 8th for the Mets, DJ Stort. Anybody knew DJ Stort? Why he homered, but nobody knew who he was. These are the highest payrolls in the league. The Mets and Yankees are 1-3, I believe, and they're starting Willie Calhoun. They're starting DJ Stort. Daniel Vogelback still play
Whoa! Don't go there. That's my guy.
No, the love for I love Daniel Vogelback as a person. I just don't want to see him playing anymore because it's just so rough. But yeah, it is a disaster right now. I know the Mets, for some reason, still think they can make a run. I do think schedule's relatively favorable the next week. They play Chicago, then they have Boston, but then they play the Yankees and Nationals, and the Yankees are looking like an easy game right now for the Mets.
No, but the Red Sox are also on a team that's kind of been scrappy this season.
The
Red Sox have been fighting.
They're easily the best 4th place team in the league. They're a very talented team. They have a lot of good pitching. There's
I want to mention another thing about the Yankees and Aaron Boone. We talk about it a lot when discussing the NFL, but this is one of those instances in the MLB. Yesterday, there were 2 examples of it where I was like, okay, Aaron Boone has lost the locker room. Harrison Bader, the one guy who I always say wears the pinstripes and carries them. The pinstripes are heavy. Don't get me wrong. Playing for the Yankees is not for the weak-hearted. Harrison Bader, since day one, has came in when he's healthy and has worn the pinstripes like they weigh nothing. He's a guy that makes it look effortless. He's a stud, great player. Yesterday, he had a ground ball to shortstop, jogged to first base. Now, I don't know if maybe he was injured, ankle thing, tweaked, anything like that, but he jogged to first base. Another instance, DJ LeMahieu, ground ball. The effort just wasn't like I've seen from DJ LeMahieu in the past. And at that moment, that was when the Yankees had just blown the lead. I felt that, Aaron Boone, you lost your team. You lost the locker room. Nobody really respects, when it comes down to it, nobody on the Yankees roster respects Aaron Boone, because you're going in afterwards, and why? You're saying, I thought we did some good things. I thought we had some bright moments. Aaron, you're dropping series to teams that are well under 500, that have been sitting in mediocrity for the past decade, and you want to sit here, you're going to be flipping patty soon.
Yeah, this is an Angels team that respectfully, they're trying their hardest not to have to trade Shohei.
Exactly.
They were losing at a clip that it was pretty clear that they don't have Trout. Shohei was banged up. He hadn't made it through a lot of his latest starts, but he's still hitting home runs, obviously. They are doing whatever they can not to trade Shohei because they've been that bad, right? and you're making them think like, oh, maybe we should keep this guy because we're going to make the play. They're 9 out in the division right now, and you're making them think that they have a shot. They're 4.5 out in the playoffs now because of them. So I don't know if it's a tactic or anything. I don't know what it is, but the whole, like, I want to bring it to Shohei because I want your opinion on this because I know a lot of people have opinions on, like, well, what's going to happen in the offseason. Right now, what do you think the Angels are going to do? Because, look, you could talk about New York sports. I think both of those teams will be interested in the offseason, right?
In Shohei?
But right now, yeah. But right now, the Shohei situation is so interesting to me because obviously he's generational. He's amazing. Yeah. But you can't lose him for nothing, right?
Yeah, so I think when it comes down to it, ultimately, I think the Angels end up keeping Shohei for the remainder of the season. And I think at the deadline, I think that they attempt to make their pitching staff better. But maybe they go out, they get a Stroman. Maybe they go out and get a guy that's at that mid-level that can maybe help a little bit. I'm not talking about a needle mover here, but I think they go out and they just try and get a little better, but they just end up keeping Shohei. They know they want to get Trout back. They're expecting him on the earlier side of that 6 to 8 week mark. And I think that they're going to just another attempt at that mediocrity. You know, like, I don't expect much out of them, but I don't expect them to sell. In terms of the Yankees and Mets, I do think they're going to be making calls about Shohei. I don't think they're going to obviously get him at the deadline. I think the Mets have a chance come off season, but after that bat flip, Andy, I know you watched the bat flip.
I watched it. I thought it was very
50
beautiful.
times. It was beautiful, but I watched it from a different lens, right?
Obviously.
No. But I looked at it from a lens of this guy loves to kill the Yankees. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, definitely. That's something that
it was almost like the way that when Vladdy Jr. goes deep against the Yankees, when it was like a Xander Bogaerts home run against the Yankees when he was on the Sox. Yeah. It gave me that same vibe of like, I want to make you pay. Now, I don't understand why Shohei hates the Yankees, but it gave me a sense of like, you're going to feel the wrath of me being one of the best players in the league, and you're never going to get to feel what it's like for me playing on your franchise. Yeah,
that gets etched into your head as a kid, I think. There's a lot, it's going to be a more popular thing is Yankee fans kind of turn people off of the Yankees. It's what happened with me. There's a lot of Yankee fans I can't stand. And it kind of turns you off from the team. And Vladdy's kind of the first person I've seen come out since Ken Griffey Jr. and say, like, I hate the Yankees. I think that's an actual thing in baseball. I don't know if it's going to hinder him if there is a negotiation where they're the highest paying team, which isn't going to happen. Like, I don't know if it would hinder him from going there, but I will say this, when it comes to the offseason, I think he's priced 28 teams out. I think there's 2 teams that are even remotely willing to go to the number that guy's worth. I think we're going to see the first bidding war between the Mets and Dodgers of a long-term deal, because we did have it with Max Scherzer, but that was a 2-year deal, and how the hell did that work out? But I think
Shohei's going to get his 10 years.
Yeah, that's his offseason. It's going to be, I think we're going to be approaching 11 years, 600, 650 in that range. Because, look, you might have to take some bad years at the end of the contract and years where he's maybe just a hitter, but there's nobody more valuable in the sport right now. There's nobody better. He's the greatest player of this generation. I don't think it's necessarily close. He does both, and he's great at both right now. So, I think his offseason is going to be interesting, Shohei, but I think for right now, I can't justify giving up what they're asking for. If you're a team like Cincinnati or you're a team like Miami, like, you're not keeping him. You can't risk what they're asking for. And the Dodgers, why would the Dodgers make that deal? They're going to get him. They think they can get him in November. So, it's a weird situation, but it's the greatest player of the generation. Like, there's nothing you can say about it. So he earned the right to be in this spot. And
the Dodgers maybe going after him gives me that same vibe of when the Knicks traded for Carmelo. You know what I mean? Right?
See
summer. Yeah. It's like you could have waited, but you decided to spend your Danilo Gallinari 4 first-round picks type of thing. David Lee, all that.
There's teams that are willing to do. If there's a team, the Mets aren't willing to do that. I already know that for a fact. But if the Dodgers are willing to say, hey, Gavin Lux, my top 2 prospects, and that guarantees they keep them, well, maybe it's worth it.
Maybe it might be worth it.
If you're the Mets, I'm not giving you Beatty. I'm not giving you Alvarez.
Do you think a dark horse could potentially be the Atlanta Braves?
No, because 2 reasons. He's a little too obviously pricey for them. They have not gone over. They try to get everybody at an undervalue.
At a minimum, right? Now, what if this is the one where they're like, listen, we've been cutting corners almost everywhere else. We do have a little bit because we've been able to get guys like Austin Riley on a very, very elite contract. Who did they just sign yesterday? Didn't they just sign?
Darno got a 2-year, $8 million a year,
and of course he's been going crazy for them, right? Like, no wonder.
Love Travis.
But they get these guys at a very, very good rate. Yeah. What if all of a sudden they're like, okay, now we can afford? We've been waiting on somebody like this. If there was anybody to do it for, it's Shohei Ohtani.
There's two reasons I just think it's not gonna not realistic. Is I think the money literally is just too much for them. I think that would cripple their, like, when you cut corners for a reason. Usually it's to overspend on somebody, but like the level they're gonna have to overspend to get him would probably put them out. And I was born in the state of Georgia. All right, I love Georgia sports. There's nothing appealing about Atlanta. There's nothing appealing about it. It is a garbage city with very little to do. It's not on the West Coast. Maybe to the point
wants to do the chop.
It's on the East Coast, which we've already heard that he's a little skeptical about. And like, it's the East Coast, but it's the South. Like, why would you want to be down there? Like, I think the only way he comes to the East Coast is if it's on a New York team. Otherwise, I think he's staying in LA anyway, like for the Dodgers. Yeah. So
there's no scenario in my head where he's a Yankee, bro. I can't even lie to you. Like,
doesn't,
like, I have like probably less than a 10% thought of him being a Yankee. Like, it's that minimal. I think like him bat flipping the way he did the other day was just so telling to me. It was almost like when players come into MSG and they want to just drop 40 at the Garden.
I'm going to send you a picture right now, and I want you to put it up. And this is my feelings on what's going to happen with Shohei Ohtani. I think the Mets have started doing something that they've never done before, and that's because they've never given a crap about their history. Okay. But I just sent you a picture, and I want to see if you can get it up there. They're doing something they've never done. They are courting for Shohei Ohtani. They are bringing out the Doc Goodens. They're bringing out the people that Steve Cohen grew up watching as a kid to try to get this generations of legends as Mets. They did it with Scherzer. They did it with Verlander. And
let's get this up here real
I
quick,
think they're trying to do it again. Look, I've never heard Doc Gooden in a Mets lore of anything lately because of some issues he's had off the field. But this picture, I mean, it shows something to me.
It does. The eye emoji there.
That shows something to me.
Come on, let's see the comments. We're standing with the future Met. I mean, whoa. But,
that one I like.
That's a clean Photoshop.
That is a clean Photoshop. I think that's something the Mets are. Look, do they know if they have a shot? Maybe not. But why not try? Maybe he doesn't want to be on the West Coast anymore. Maybe he really wants to play for the Mets. Maybe the money is just that good for the Mets. Yeah, you just have to scroll right by that again.
Elon Musk's ads are crazy.
That is something that's so interesting to me. The Mets did it for Verlander too, and they're doing it now. They're sending guys that are legends here. Doc Gooden is a legend as a Met. So recruiting is part of college more, but if you have it, and look, the Mets have a great group of Hall of Famers. Why not use them? Mike Piazza, send him out there to Shohei's house.
But you know what's really funny?
Send David Wright out there.
Why not? Literally, right? My dad said last night, it's funny that you mentioned that. My dad said to me, he was like, you know what the Yankees really have to do? They need to go and get Hideki Matsui, and they need to get Masahiro Tanaka, and they need to take him out to dinner in the Bronx. And they need to hit a steakhouse and just chop it up.
Perfectly.
You know, if there was any way to do it, you have to go get these guys that came from Japanese baseball and say, look, you know, if there's a franchise to play for,
you're drilling it in.
The New York Yankees, right?
No. Who's got the NL Rookie of the Year right now coming from the Japanese Baseball League? Just saying.
No,
Kodai Senga and Shohei Ohtani have been. They've said they've had a relationship for a long time. Don't think that the Mets, Billy Epler didn't calculate that in his head when he made that Senga signing. Look,
absolutely.
Senga's an amazing pitcher in his own right.
It was a chess move,
Don't think he didn't make a chess move. Look, you might not like Billy Epler. He is the single best Japanese scout that baseball has seen because he signed Shohei Ohtani. That easily makes him the best, in my opinion. He got obviously the greatest Japanese-born player ever, right there, Shohei Ohtani. Don't think that the Kodai Senga signing didn't at least creep the Mets up a little bit. I don't know. Maybe he is so in love with being in LA, he wants to go to the Dodgers. Maybe.
Yeah.
But what do the Mets have to lose? What do the Yankees? I mean, the Yankees, I think, are a little tougher because the Yankees are frugal for a franchise of that stature, right? They really almost lost to Aaron Judge. Like, that almost happened. Like, and now you're expecting them to go up to 600. You're expecting them to double that now? Like, I don't think it's going to happen, but what do the Mets have to lose? If Steve Cohen's willing to pay it, just throw everything. Make the guy say no to you. Make him say no to you. Maybe he does. I don't know.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, a guy like that is worth kind of throwing all your eggs in a basket for. I mean, when are we ever going to see a guy like this again? You know what I mean? Like, it's you watch.
You're not going to see somebody who can do both at this level because, and they're especially not going to be American. No offense to our great nation, but we raise kids and they play baseball all year, and they're doing both from the time they're like 8 years old, and then they're told in high school, well, pick one. Basically told in high school and college, pick one. And the few two-way players that make it, well, they're already gassed out by the time they're in college anyway. So that didn't happen with Shohei. So it'll be very rare if it ever happens again. But I am extremely excited for the offseason, needless to say, because the Mets right now have if they have a chance, I can't find it, but I'll go to the games anyway because the tickets will be very cheap. So
yeah, it's been hard to watch, truthfully. Like,
it has.
I tweeted
yesterday was fun though.
It's basically like full off season because I can't stomach watching the Yankees. There's no NFL. There's no NBA. Like it's
you had my favorite tweet yesterday. You said how excited you are for the NFL, and I have been saying it for about a week now. Yeah. Everybody in my family, all my friends have been telling me to shut up. I can't wait for the summer to be over. Like, I want football back. I want basketball back. I want college football, college basketball. Like, that September to December time, September to January, that's a great time to be a sports fan. Because baseball by itself isn't the greatest. But when you get to September, when you have, I can watch my baseball team if they're still in it, right? Yeah. And then I got football on the weekends, and I got basketball coming up in October. Like, that's going to be a fun time. This year we have the whatever they're calling it, the in-season tournament.
Yep.
We drew the easiest freaking seeding. We got like the Bulls are the best team.
And meanwhile, we have the Bucks and the Heat.
Yeah, you guys are gonna get killed in yours.
Sweet, dog. Nah, honestly, we're gonna pack the Heat out because the Knicks are the type to win an in-season meaningless tournament against a team.
They're gonna raise the banner though, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then everyone's gonna make fun of us because of something like that.
Everybody on your team will be $500,000 richer though. Did you know now? And Gabe Vincent made a good point. If you win the in-season tournament, your bonus is higher than if you win the NBA Finals. That's insane to me.
It's disgusting.
That is just insanity. They might have to boost the NBA Final bonuses up a little bit. This point.
100%, because that's like supposed to be an incentive to winning.
That's the incentive. That's what he said. He said the incentive for making that deep run is to hold up the trophy. Now you're making us make a deep run in December. It's weird, but I'm excited.
It isn't worth it. I don't know if you also heard talking about the MLB and talking about some of these ratings grabs as the in-season tournament is. The MLB is going to be doing a Legends home run derby next year. I don't know if you heard about this with Ken Griffey Jr., Albert Pujols. What do you think? Because I personally, of course, I'm going to watch it. Of course, I'm going to love it. But I totally am recognizing that this is because the MLB is dying in every sense of the word.
Yeah, I think they're realizing how regional they've become. They're trying to bring back the history, and I think that's exactly what they should do. I think that's what the Mets have done. They tried to bring back their history, and baseball should bring back their history. I think it's pretty obvious. I think Pujols is going to win that. He's going to be, 2 years?
I don't know. Ken Griffey Jr.'s might. I don't know.
I don't know. Ken Griffey Jr.'s been out of the league for decade now? Decade
look
plus.
Old, but
I think Albert clearly has that in the bag, but He almost won it last year.
Yeah, no, he really did, bro. He really did. But all right, I think that might wrap us up for today. Anything else you want to touch on before you get out of here? Any last second thoughts on Robert Williams shooting jump shots in the gym?
Dude, could you imagine? Could change my life.
Hitting some mid ranges this season. Hey, you never know. But don't get used to it because all of a sudden we see some, Mitchell Robinson hitting threes in the offseason. So nothing is new anymore, right? Nothing's new. Surprising. But we appreciate everybody tuning in. Double R, Kyle, even Ed. We appreciate you tapping in.
Even Ed.
if you guys are still here, thank you for all the support. We'll catch you guys later in the week. I hope Aaron Boone is on unemployment very soon, and that's what I'm going to leave you with. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll catch